Project management tutorial, how to get started with ClickUp. Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I'll be showing you guys how you can get started with the all-in-one project management tool of ClickUp. So without wasting any time, let's get into it. Now, ClickUp's features are very diverse and they can help you in building your project management in terms of goals or in terms of progress as well. Now, to get started, simply head up on clickup.com and click on sign up on the top right. You can enter your work email over here to get started with your sign up process. Now, once you enter your email, simply click on next and you will be led to the registration page where you can use your password and create a password to log into your account. So I'm just going to log into my account over here. And once you log into ClickUp, you have multiple different workspaces you can get started with. So one thing to note is that the name that you use whenever you are building your workspace is going to be the name that you will have for your personal workspace. So my account name is John Doe and I have my free forever workspace, and this is for me only, and this is my personal workspace. However, for project management, you obviously have to add other people. So for that, whenever I'm building a new project, I like to click on new workspace, and then I like to name it by the title of that project. So let's say we want to increase leads to sales funnel like this, and then I'm going to click on next over here. I can use a particular color to signify the particular workspace I have, and keep in mind that any items within a workspace are not exchangeable. So all of your items present within one workspace are going to be segregated from the other one. So let's say you're going to add the people that you want to invite to this particular workspace. I currently don't have any. And then if you're already using a application such as Zapier, Discord, Slack, or any other tool, you can integrate that from over here as well. And if you are previously using a different project management tool, you can also import data from that over here as well. Now we can get started with ClickUp project management. Now, ClickUp has multiple different types of templates available. And so I'm going to enable the theme to be a light theme like this, and you can always disable and enable dark and light themes. Now, once you have created your new workspace, you will see on the left you have a everything section which shows everything. Then you have an empty board called space. Now I can just delete this space board, and I'll show you guys how you can either get started from scratch or get started with a template. Now from here, you're going to start building your spaces or your boards. So you're going to click on create new space, and you can name it whatever you want. So let's say this is going to be my idea space, and I can click on next. And then you can choose whether or not you want this to be a public board, or if this is meant to be a shared or private board where only when you share it with certain people, then people would be able to see it. Now, I want this to be public, and public does not mean it's viewable to anyone. It means it's viewable to the members of that workspace. Then you have multiple different statuses you can add. We're going to add these later, so I'm just going to click on continue. Then you have certain ClickUp applications that you can integrate. So you have priorities, you have emailing, custom fields, time tracking, time estimates, multiple assignees, tags, sprints, as well as work in progress limits, a remap, subtask, due dates. Now, I like to keep my priority, email, custom fields, multiple assignees, and tags turned on. For our particular type of project management, time tracking and time estimates are not that important, so I'm going to leave those. However, you can click on show more to take a look at some of the other tools as well. So you have sprint points, incomplete warnings, reschedule dependencies, status progress as well. Now, once you've done that, you will be able to see the default settings for views. Now, I want a list view and a board view. However, I also want a calendar view and a Gantt view. Now, if you want more views, you can enable those, but I'm going to just click on review space. From here, I can click on create space, and now a simple board will be created. Now, in this board, I like to directly go into the board view, and you will have two basic columns, your complete and your to-do section. And these are based on the statuses that you have added. You can also describe your status view or board view but in the terms of automations, custom fields, and views. And you also have a from section, so you can choose which workspace or which particular board you want your board to display. Now, going into our list view, as you guys can see, this is our first column or group, and you can create multiple different groups. So first off, I'm going to add the first group, which might be ideas or just potential ideas like this. Now, once I've added one particular group, I can get started with entering task names. So whatever task I want to create, let's say I want to create potential ideas for our leads, which might be email marketing. I can add that over here. And within a task, if I open up this task, I can add a subtask in the left corner over here. So this might be to collect emails like this. And then we also might have something like using MailChimp and whatever subtask you have. And then you even have action items. So a lot of people get confused about the difference between a subtask and an action item. Subtasks could be broad and they could be goal-based. So maybe the goal within this task is to reach 100 contacts. So that would be a subtask, and the action item would be the different ways that you can reach those 100 people. So it might be sending them emails, or it might be to advertise to them. So that is the major difference between your action items and subtasks. However, both can be overlapping in a lot of situations. Then you have your due date that you can add to a task over here, and as well as a assignee section where you can assign it to a person. Now, this is just one group, and you can create multiple different groups as well. So you can click on create over here to be able to create a new task, doc, reminder, chat, whiteboard. And if you want to create a group directly, you can click on board over here, click on add status, and start building more statuses. Now, statuses are different than groups. So if I go into our potential ideas over here and I click on add status over here, so this might be a status called accepted ideas. Now, what I'm going to do once I create that is I'm going to make sure to move it over here. And now if you go into your list view, because it is grouped by status, you should be able to see the varying statuses involved. However, this is grouped by your particular tasks. So I want this to be grouped by none. So now it's not going to show you any grouping. However, I want this to be grouped by a maybe assignee, priority, tags, due date, or status, so we can add that over here. And you can add more sub statuses as well. Now you can click on new status over here to add a new status directly into your list view. So for us, that's accepted ideas like this, and we're going to use the green color to represent those. Now I like to place these below the first section, and you can do that by collapsing them and going into your board view. Just making sure they're organized correctly in your board view to make it easier for you to see. Now, after that, we can start creating tasks in your accepted ideas section as well. Now, other than creating basic tasks, you can always upgrade your workspace with a template. However, for beginners, it might be a little overwhelming. However, if you do want to use a template, simply go into your spaces and just go into a new space, click on create new space, and click on use templates. From here, you have multiple different types of templates that you can use. So I'm going to go into ClickUp templates, and I'm going to search for project management. And you guys can see there are multiple different types of project management tools as well. So you can choose whichever one you prefer and start customizing the data present within. It's pretty simple to do. You're just going to click on this, and you can click on customize import items to choose how much you want to import from the template. And if you want to revamp the dates and choose a new due date, it's totally fine if you import it as it is, because you would be customizing all the data present within anyways. And just like that, you can get a more detailed version that you can get started with building on ClickUp. Other than that, you have a dashboard on your top left, and you will be able to see all of your summaries here. Then a doc section will help you in categorizing all of your information that is present. And after that, you even have a whiteboard now on ClickUp, so you can get started with building ideas and building mind maps. Now, as you guys can see, this is a template over here. It's pretty simple to see all of the info present, and it's really easy to customize. You're just going to click on each individual item. You can go into the list view and just click on the items that you require. You can delete them. You can also, add more information. So you can click on the item, you can change up the name, you can change up the statuses, and so much more. Now, I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe.